Good afternoon, I'm Dilly MacFarlane, and welcome once again to the Alumni Special. I'm happy today to welcome Mary Mader-Smith, who is the Class of 1962 reunion convener for the Academy. Hi, Mary.
Hi, Dilly. How are you?
Just great. I'm glad to see you.
Thank you.
I understand that you're celebrating a special anniversary this year.
Yes, we are. It's our 25th.
25 years.
Yeah.
Went by just like that, huh?
Just like that. Blink of the eye.
Well, that's marvelous. So you graduated from the Academy in 62.
62.
Were you one of the graduates of the regular program, or were you one of the business graduates?
The regular program.
The regular program, I see. Yeah. And how long had you been at the Academy?
3 years.
3 years. So you started in 1959?
59, yeah, in grade 10.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. So you're from the Halifax, Dartmouth area to begin with, though, are you?
Yes, although I wasn't living in Halifax at the time that I went to Mount. I was living in New Brunswick.
Oh, I see. So now you were a resident student.
Yes, oh yes.
Mary, what was it like at the Academy 25 years ago? Tell me, for instance, since you were a resident student, the sisters then would have complete charge and control of your comings and goings. I imagine they ran a pretty tight ship, did they?
Oh, very tight.
Yeah.
Very tight. A lot different than what things are now. Very strict.
What were some of the regulations that you had to...
Well, of course, the uniforms.
What were they like?
They were just lovely. Sort of an Air Force blue, box pleats, 13 inches from the floor.
Is this a tunic or a skirt?
It was a tunic with a white blouse, and it had buttons down the front, and you had to wear them a size bigger than you normally would wear.
For the sake of modesty, of course.
Yes, yes.
Right.
They were 13 inches from the floor. I don't believe the styles at that time were 13 inches from the floor.
No, as I recall, they were
around your knee somewhere.
Yes.
And brown Oxfords.
Now, how would the sisters regulate your clothes? Would they do a daily check of your attire, or?
Not a daily, but we used to have two uniforms. One was sort of for good, and one was our regular one. And some of us shortened the good one, and would try to wear it on certain occasions. And usually we got caught. They could tell right away because, see, where they were 13 inches from the floor, it didn't matter how tall you were. Everyone's uniform would be the same length.
How tall are you, Mary?
I'm 5'3½".
So you would have been probably one of the shorter girls in the class.
Probably.
So you had one of the longer tunics?
Yes. 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 It sort of felt like it was flapping at your ankle sometimes. Yeah.
What were some of the other regulations that you would, for instance, the curfew, I suppose they were very strict about?
Well, do you mean that when we got out?
Oh, you were
If we had relatives in town, I think in grade 10 we were allowed out one Sunday a month for, dinner with relatives.
I see.
I do remember going out one weekend in grade 10 to spend it with my aunt.
I hope all the high school girls are listening to this.
Oh yeah, it was different.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Grade 12 was a little bit better.
Oh, you were allowed more privileges in grade 12.
Yeah,
then,
yeah, a little bit more. Like we were allowed out for weekends if we had relatives.
What a tremendous responsibility the sisters would take on with hundreds of young girls that age in their care and control, that they would be responsible to twice as many parents for their behavior and conduct. That's a remarkable sort of microcosm that you were living in. But I suppose because that you were somewhat or more than somewhat isolated from the community, you probably created very special bonds of friendship.
Oh yes, yes. Like a lot of these girls were just like your sisters. Actually, you probably got along a lot better with them than maybe you did with your sisters.
I see. Would you share did you have things that you could share? I suppose the idea was that since there were uniforms and everybody was equipped with the same school supplies and so on, that there was a rather interesting leveling process that took place the minute you walked in the door.
Well, yeah, you were just all the same, really,
So the poorer kids were treated the same as the richer girls?
Oh, well, we were, Cecilia McNeil Smith, you know her?
Yes, I do.
We were just talking about it the other day, like, normally girls in high school know what their friends' parents do. And sort of what type of place they live in and whatnot. Well, at the Mount, like, most of us didn't know what our best friend's father did, because
it wasn't reflected in their material things that they possessed.
No, everybody, had the same. uniform, you were allowed $1 a week allowance. It didn't matter, like your mother could send you $5, and your mail, of course, was all red, and you would get the envelope, and there would be a minus $5 in the office for you. Well, then you had to go every week, and you'd get permission to take your $1 out. And in order to get more than $1, you'd have to, you know, have an excuse, like you need a toothpaste or something like that.
Looking back, Marion, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you to be really honest and tell me, do you think it was good for you?
It didn't hurt me. I really had a lot of fun at the mountain. I would never regret going there.
No. And I'm going to ask you too, do you feel that this sort of, the very strict discipline and the strict guidelines as far as material possessions and so on, do you think that it helped you to develop a better appreciation of people as such, that you would look beyond the outer shell and look at the real person?
Oh, I'm sure it did. I'm sure it has, yes.
You must be looking really forward to seeing some of your old schoolmates.
Oh, I can't wait.
Now, how many of you are there, the class of Academy class of 62? How many?
Well, there's 42 that were called graduates.
Yes.
Or 44, pardon me.
Yes.
They didn't call them graduates if they were only there for 1 year at that time.
Oh, I see.
So there's another group of perhaps 40.
That are still a class of 62.
That's right, that are still class of 62.
And you, of course, are hoping that they'll all come.
I'm hoping that they all come.
Yeah,
whether or not, there's also quite a large group that didn't go to grade 12 that, like, may have gone on to university from grade 11. We're hoping that those girls will come too.
When is this remarkable reunion taking place?
It's May the 29th.
That's a Friday night.
Friday night, and it continues through until Sunday.
Oh, you've got a whole weekend of activities.
Weekend, yeah.
Tell me what you've got planned.
Well, Friday night we have the wine and cheese party.
And that's held where?
That's at the Mother House.
Oh, so then you will have a chance to perhaps meet some of your former teachers.
Yes,
there.
Now
and
the
maybe
last
even
few
some of your
years we
schoolmates.
have. That's right.
I suppose that who are living at the Mother House. There's so many sisters there now. That's great. And so what happens after the wine and cheese party on Friday night?
Then we go to the Birches, where hopefully a lot of us will be staying.
That's the townhouse residence right here on campus.
Yeah.
They have, what, 20 bedrooms each in each townhouse, so everybody will be all
We're hoping to fill up a couple of them anyways.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, we're going there and we'll have, I guess, a pajama party or, you know, just talk. And
No swimming in the duck pond this year.
No swimming this year. No. That wasn't our class.
This is the last year's reunion group.
That's right.
You, as a matter of fact, you met many of your classmates at last year's gathering.
Oh, yes, there were quite a few there last year.
And you think they'll come again?
They all said they were going to come back.
Isn't that wonderful?
Even the girls whose 25th reunion it was last year, a lot of them are coming back because they had so much fun.
Great.
So.
Now, so after the pajama party and the perhaps swim in the duck pond.
Perhaps.
Yeah. The Saturday's activities, what do they consist of?
Well, Saturday morning there'll be champagne breakfast or brunch, which Chef Renee, I guess, puts on.
I remember last year Chef Renee coming to the door of the, for the sake of our viewers, Chef Renee is about 6'5" and weighs probably about 500 pounds. And he appears in his chef's outfit at the door with hot croissants and cheese and coffee and juice and fresh fruit. It was really lovely. It was quite special, especially for most of us who are used to getting up and fending for ourselves on a Saturday morning. It's quite a treat. So following the champagne brunch, what do you have in mind?
Then there's going to be the clam boil and weenie roast over at McNabb's Island.
Oh, I see.
And that is a lot of fun. We really had a lot of fun last year. So
yes, that's getting to be quite a tradition. I remember one year we took the clam bake on McNabb's Island. We had some of the 50-year celebrants, several people who had graduated from the university in the 30s.
Oh, really?
That came, and it was the day of the tornado, if you remember.
Yes, I do.
It was quite a day on McNabb's Island, but it's developed into a tradition where those who are tough go on the clam bake.
That's right.
But there's an alternate activity planned to coincide with that event for those who don't want to go to McNabb's. I believe there's a tea that's about to be arranged, possibly on the Arm somewhere, but if not here on campus. So those
be good,
daintier alumni
Right.
that don't feel up for the clam bake can take part in that.
Right.
Then what happens, Mary?
Then we come back and get ready. There's the dinner that evening, the hip of beef buffet.
That's right.
Which has been always excellent. So.
And this is this coincides with the annual meeting of the Alumni Association.
Right, yeah.
And at that time, I suppose that there'll be some special comments made about the 25th anniversary alumni and those who are celebrating their 50th as well.
Right.
Then on Sunday now, what goes on Sunday?
On Sunday we have Mass at the Mother House, and then after the Mass there's tea or light luncheon with the sisters.
Oh, well, that will be
And
lovely.
that's really nice, yeah.
Yes, I know that each year at the Mass on the reunion weekend, people would probably remember their deceased classmates or those who are in need of spiritual support
Right,
in that
that's
way.
right, yeah.
And it's a nice occasion to bring the family together, because I know
Yes.
last year several alumni brought their children with them to meet the older sisters and that who have retired there, and some of the younger ones who are actively involved in the community. Mary, I wanted to ask you now, when you get together like this, what sort of memorabilia are you hoping that your classmates will bring?
Well, we're hoping that somebody can find a uniform.
Oh, that would
we
be
would
great.
love for somebody to bring a uniform and a beanie with them.
You wore a beanie too?
Oh, yes, we
I
had our
see.
uniforms, our blazers, and our beanies.
Mm-hmm.
And, but our gym suits, I don't know if, I didn't tell you about our gym suits. They were the best. They were a one-piece effort with navy blue and the sort of Air Force blue. The bottoms were box pleated bloomer style.
Oh, so they would be gathered above the knee, but full to the waist?
Yeah.
And then
It's sort
gathered
of
at the
hard-
waist
yeah,
again.
somewhat like a barrel almost.
Sounds really attractive.
Very, very chic, you know.
Yes, I'm sure.
Oh,
I'm
yes.
sure. Yes, especially after they've been rolled up in the bottom of somebody's locker for 6 months.
Well, oh no, we couldn't
Oh,
do
no, I
something
suppose
like that. I mean, in those days, you got a detention if your towels and face cloths weren't folded exactly so. So, I mean, you could never leave something like that in your
Oh,
locker.
Mary. And I suppose if I went to your house today, I'd see those towels and face cloths folded properly.
Yes, absolutely. I think that's why I'm so messy, because I had to be so neat for 3 years.
Oh, my gosh. Well, now, do you think the girls will bring some snapshots? and-
Oh, yeah. I'm sure they will. They always do.
I remember a class that got together last year decided that what they would like to do is invite their classmates to bring photographs of their children. And don't put the name of the parents on the photograph. Everybody has to guess, who does this kid belong to? And it was really kind of rather interesting. I think that the girls really got quite a kick out of it.
Yeah.
Now, Mary,
Sounds like fun.
if I had to ask you if you had a magic wand and could wish for one person to appear at this reunion, can you think of somebody that you'd like to see?
Yes, I
Who?
can. It's Lee Miller.
Lee
And
Miller.
I really hope she comes.
Where
yeah.
is she now?
She's in Toronto.
And have you seen her recently?
The last time I saw her was probably 2 or 3 years ago.
I see.
yeah.
And is she working in Toronto now?
She's working in Toronto, yeah.
Ah, oh, yes. Well, do you suppose she might come?
She, I think she will, yeah. She, the last time I was talking to her, I guess it was only a year ago, really, because I phoned her the last year for the reunion.
Right.
And I told her that the big one was coming up, and she said she would be here, so
My gosh,
I'm counting on it.
I hope she comes. If she can't make it, I know that she'll miss a wonderful time
she
because
will, yeah.
just from what I could see of the fun that all of you had together last year, I rather envied it, to tell you the truth, because it's a special time in your life that you were privileged to enjoy that.
Oh, yes.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it was just super.
Yeah. How do your kids feel about your involvement with the reunion? Are they excited about it too?
Well, I've really been coming the last few years, so now it's just sort of, oh, Mom's going over to the Mount again, you know.
Oh,
it's,
that's great.
You know.
Mary, I hope lots of your classmates are listening, and I hope that they'll come and for further information, phone the alumni office or get a hold of you.
Yes.
And I want to thank you very much for coming and sharing the excitement of your new project with us. And for now, I'm going to say goodbye and invite you to join me again next week for more of the Alumni Special.